Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Thursday, September 1st, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Penn State vs Purdue. Penn State returns more experience on the defensive side of the ball and has more offensive firepower. Although Purdue may have the edge at quarterback, their lack of a strong running game and absence of their top 2 receivers from 2021 will take some adjusting. Penn State is 9-2 at TS in their last 11 September games, and I give them the edge in this ball game. I recommend buying the hook at 3.5 at taking Penn State -3. With this being the first game of the regular season, both defenses are going to be ahead of the offenses. These teams have solid punters as Penn State averaged 44.5 net punt yards, while Purdue had a net of 36.7 punting yards. Both secondaries have been doing well throughout last season and are returning a bunch of starters this season, so they should control the game as well and limit points. The under is 9-1 in their last 12 games against each other, including 4 of the last 5 at Purdue, so go with under 53.5 points here. Louisiana Tech vs Missouri. I would generally be looking to fade a mediocre Missouri team that is having to replace its starting quarterback and star running back, but Louisiana Tech is even more fadeable to open the season. The Bulldogs have a first-year head coach and new quarterback to go along with a defense that was atrocious last season. Missouri has done a solid job of taking care of business against bad teams under Drinkwitz, and it covered the spread in 4 of its final 5 games last year. Cook was able to get valuable playing time under his belt in the bowl game, giving Missouri's offense an edge over Louisiana Tech's. The Bulldogs only covered once in their final 7 games last year and are expected to struggle this season as well. Our team pick is Missouri -19.5 points. When you have 2 putrid defenses going up against one another, there should be a lot of chunk plays happening. Looking at how the defenses looked to end the last year, Louisiana Tech allowed 38.5 points per game in their previous 4 games, while Missouri gave up 30.4 points per game in their last 5 games. The over has hit in each of the previous 4 Bulldogs games, as well as in 4 of the last 5 Tigers games played in September. All in all, go with over 60.5 points in this game as well. With starting quarterback Connor Bazelak transferring to the Indiana Hoosiers during the offseason, they have given the starting role to sophomore quarterback Brady Cook to open the season. He did not see too much action last season as the backup as he went 46 of 58, 79.3 completion percentage for 345 yards with a pair of touchdowns. However, he has been able to use his legs at times as he also had 22 carries for 92 yards, 4.2 yards per rushing attempt with a rushing touchdown on his stat page. The offense could look a bit different as wide receiver Keith Chisholm and running back Tyler Beatty are no longer with the Tigers, so this offense is going to look a little different. It will be interesting to see how this Missouri offense looks as they try to take that next step as a squad. With starting quarterback Austin Kendall and backup quarterback Aaron Allen both graduating and third-string J.D. Head transferring to North Texas, junior quarterback Matthew Downing has officially been named the starting quarterback for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs to begin the season. New Mexico State vs Minnesota. The Aggies have a new look at QB. Freshman Gavin Frakes received a good portion of the playing time last week and collected 143 passing yards. Diego Pavia had a rough debut, tossing 3 interceptions. The program also lost a top rusher from 2021 on a transfer. It was another young player, this time sophomore RB Jamoni Jones leading all RBs with 28 rushing yards last week. Justice Bowers brought in 74 receiving yards in the opener. The senior WR only had 167 yards all of last season. The Aggies offense had a decent passing game last year, but will probably struggle to score points as seen last week. The Gophers' passing offense was a big weakness last year. Tanner Morgan remains the number 1 QB after recording 2044 passing yards and a subpar 10.9 TD to int ratio in 2021. The program brought in their offensive coordinator from 2019 Kirk Ciarrocca to help improve the passing game. The Gophers' top 2 running backs transferred but have a potent RB in Muhammad Ibrahim, who only played 1 game in 2021 due to injury. The senior RB posted over 1,000 rushing yards in 2020. Minnesota also returns last year's receiving leader Chris Bell. The senior WR collected 506 yards. The New Mexico State Aggies are in for a rough season. They only won 2 games last year and lost in Saturday's home opener against Nevada by a 23-12 score. The Aggies lost many key starters on offense. The Golden Gophers are a stellar team that has a good chance to win 10 games. This is a huge spread that is warranted. Furthermore, the Aggies will probably be one of the lowest scoring teams in the entire FBS, and Minnesota has an outstanding defense. The Aggies only scored a total of 19 points in their 2 games against power conference foes last season. Also, Minnesota has an elite running back in Muhammad Ibrahim, who will surpass 1,000 yards if he stays healthy. New Mexico State ranked 110th against the run last year and allowed 179 rushing yards last week. Also, the Aggies have a new coach, and it will take some time to find a groove. Minnesota Golden Gophers -37. Minnesota enjoyed a fine season in 2021, capping off an 8-4 season with a win in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. The Golden Gophers' defense held stout throughout the season, finishing 7th in college football in points allowed per game at 17.3. Picked by the media to finish 10th in the conference this season, Minnesota turns to its new but familiar offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca to fix some of the issues with last season's 84th ranked offense. Ciarrocca was Minnesota's OC in 2019 when they went 11-2 and finished 22nd in the nation in points per game. Expect Minnesota to avoid letdowns against inferior competition, such as last year's disappointing loss to Bowling Green early on. New Mexico State has been mired in what feels like an eternity of struggling. In 2017 the Aggies went 7-6 overall, 4-4 in the Sun Belt Conference, and won the Arizona Bowl. Since then, their year-by-year record has been 3-9, 2-10, 1-1, COVID-shortened season, and 2-10. This year doesn't look any more promising than last, as New Mexico State's offense has several new players to replace the departing seniors and transfers. Juwan Price, the Aggies' leading rusher last season with 692 yards and 10 touchdowns, left in the transfer window to play for Syracuse. Now, second-year RB Jamoni Jones will take most of the carries for this offense. A bright spot in the Aggies' Week 1 loss was senior wide receiver Justice Powers. After amassing only 167 receiving yards last season, the senior hauled in 74 yards in Week 1. With a new offensive coordinator, generally there is expected ramping up time as a team adjusts to a coach's philosophies, schemes, and personnel decisions. However, in the case of the Golden Gophers and Kirk Ciarrocca, most of the critical offensive starters were there in 2019 when their offense dominated other teams. I expect a lopsided game in which the Minnesota offense not only puts up tremendous scoring output from the starting group, but even the reserves enjoy a couple of touchdown drives late in the game against New Mexico State's inexperienced defense. The over is set at 52.5, and it very well may be low. Our total pick is 52.5 points.